Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and today we did have our update. As you can clearly see, a nice solid update. Did run into some resistance. I was surprised that we were able to push through that 1322 level without gapping over it, which was kind of a shocker, but we did. They actually pushed through it. As you can clearly see, if you were to draw a line from here to here, you would cut through, and this bottom tail right down here is actually what hit that line and bounced off of it. So it actually spliced through it. So we are now above that line. Here's another view of it on the 15-minute chart. Draw you a line just like that right there. You can see that we cut through it right here at that point. And then we back tested it here. So we are now above that. That is no longer, that sloping trend line is no longer resistance. Now the only resistance we have overhead will be the top here, which would be a triple top. Remember what I said about triple tops? They're rare. It means that generally speaking that if we hit this area, we should pop right on through it. And at that point we'd go on up here to hit our double top on the whole market, which is at right here, 1344. You can clearly see this up move, sideways consolidation, looks like a bull flag. And same thing here, up move, sideways consolidation, bull flag. And of course, on the 15-minute chart, you break it down here, up move, sideways consolidation is a bull flag, but you actually break it down a little bit more and look at it on the 5, it looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Here's your head, here is your left shoulder, and here is your right shoulder. So inverted head and shoulder, indicating that there is a likelihood that we could go up tomorrow morning. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm not going to try to make this a big long video, but I am kind of expecting it to continue higher as it breaks out of this range and continues higher. You can see here that basically it went up here all day on the histogram tower as it went up, and then as it sold off, it kind of just traded sideways. It really never fell back down. That's bullish for the market, because as you can clearly see, this lost a lot of strength and actually went negative, and it just barely dropped back a little bit then to form that head and then pop back up. So that's why they call it a bull flag, because the market kind of stays in the same range while the histogram bars drop back down and reset themselves, so that the next push up will push it up, and that launches it through any resistance level, because it gives it that power to do so. So that's kind of what I'm looking for tomorrow. Even though this is pointing down, I think it's going to curl back up. I think that's going to curl back up. I'd be shocked if they let it roll over that quick after this push up and the break of this important sloping trend line. That's important. The break of it at that point, and then the back test of it right here tells me they're outside of that. Their only resistance now is this double top here, and of course the 1344 major top there. So how would that appear here? You're probably saying, well, that thing's rolling over, the MACD is rolling over. Yes, it is. It is rolling over, but that's the histogram bars only. You also got to consider the move up here with the MACD moving average lines, and it looks like we're curling down, but look at where it's at. It still has room to run. Now, I'm not saying it will not curl down first and maybe recycle back up, but it's looking more likely that it will straighten out and go back up at this point in the morning. So you see this one here is up here almost at 5, and here we were just at barely at 2.5, or more likely more like 2 or something. So there is room for it to run higher still yet. And you know, that it's a common thing. We've seen it happen many times before, where they do just like that. Like here's a perfect example. It rolled over, barely dipped, and then it just had a massive one up. Well, that's actually not a good example because that's down too low. So if I can find one here of a good example. Okay, back here on this one here, you can see where it goes up. It looks like it's ready to roll over. Then it pushes up again here on the MACDs, and so it barely dipped negative, and then ran back up. And this whole area, if you look at this whole area and look up here at what you see a triangle with support down here, double bottom, and then a push, kind of a move up like this, and then a launch up. You can actually sit here and see that that's a left shoulder, that's a head, and that's a right shoulder. So you can see an inverted head and shoulder in that very pattern, which looks very similar to this one. So it looks very similar to this. It's, of course, this is on a smaller scale. This is the bigger scale because it's a 30-minute chart. But looking at it on the 5-minute chart, this pattern here is the one that I was referring to. And over here, I don't think it's on the scale here. I don't think it's on the chart. So maybe it is. No, it's not on this one. It's further off to the left, but just, this is obviously a smaller pattern, but I do think it looks very, very similar to this one here that we were looking at. Well, we're looking on the 30. Oh, he's looking on the 15. Let's see. No, I guess we was looking on the 60. Yeah, there we was. Ah, shoot. Where are we? Oh, there we are. Okay, we were looking on 30. Okay, I was looking at the wrong area. But anyway, I think that's what's going to happen. So the other line, you could draw a line from here to 1332 on down, and that would be some resistance too. That's about 13, maybe 1327, 1320, maybe 1327 or something. So possibly they gap up above that to go ahead and break this line here. Then all they've got is just these right here. So, and looking on the 60, here's the other one that I wanted to show you here on the 60. The 60, it does look like it's rolling over, but look again where the MACD moving average lines are. The histogram bars, yes, looking to roll negative, but this here is just now approaching zero. Just now approaching zero. You can see it's worked its way. It is sold off hard here, worked its way up, come back down, put in a low here, worked its way up, come back down, and put in a higher low. Doesn't look like it by much, but that's actually like negative 2.5, and that's a hair below that. So that might be about 3 or something, or negative 2.7 or 2.8, whatever. So it looks to me like it is ready to push up one more time tomorrow and push up out of this. And if it does, then it's got to go through that 1332 overhead resistance there and this sloping line here about 1327 or something. So I think they got a good shot at doing that tomorrow. I don't think there's anything out news-wise, economic-wise for it to really stop it. We are backing off on oil and on silver and gold. They seem to be stabilizing and backing down a little bit as oil hit its triple top area. It's through it. It did go through it, but it's kind of consolidating there for another push up, I do believe. But it could back down a little bit more. Especially, I think I'd read on the Twitter feed from Mr. Topstep that said the Day of Rage has been canceled because they don't have enough people or something. So, they can ease some of the tensions, at least for now, and give the market a little bit of room to run. They did manipulate the dollar today. Make no mistake about it, that was clear manipulation. They gapped it up higher immediately and kept the market right where it was. And then they used the ability to sell it back down to rally the market. That's what they did. So you gap it up, you keep the market flat, then you sell the dollar down, as well as oil backing down, as well as gold and silver backing down, and then the dollar selling off. That rallied the market. So, and I think we're going to have a continuation of that tomorrow. So, again, you don't really see too many instances that you see a major top put in with just a single top. You know, this is a single top, clearly. There's not even a close one here to call it a close double top. These here are obviously way below this top here. That's the other reason I think that we are going to go up here and possibly hit the double top. If we do hit it, I think we're going to pierce it and go to that 135.14 SPY fake print, which coincides with about 1349, 1350 area that a lot of people are calling for, including Mr. Topstep. So, and we refresh the page on this, and voila, that's what we had before. And now we go up, and boy, it's a clear signal here. Up, sideways consolidation. That's a big bull flag on the 60-minute that you can clearly see on this. And so Cobra, this is Cobra's blog. He's showing an ascending triangle, but they're usually a continuation pattern. So, as far as the VIX goes, you can see, expect it to probably back down some and maybe retest this here center line one more time. I could see that happening right there at that 1836 area. That could possibly happen, which is a center line for these Bollinger Bands, the center point. That's a possibility there. And then we refresh the page here. And Cobra's drawing that in for us. It was nice of him. He's a great technical analysis kind of guy, you know. So that as well is showing symmetrical triangle, which will probably bust out. I do think that there's one more push up. I really do. But then after that, I think that come this weekend, something's going to happen. It may start after, I don't know when we're going to hit this top, okay? If we hit it tomorrow, it can start Thursday or Friday. If it takes us all the way till if it takes us, you know, all the way into Thursday and Friday to hit the top, then obviously it won't start till over the weekend. But I'm very confident that once this final top is put in, the market is done and ready to collapse. I think we are within days of a major stock market crash. They have been manipulating it. We knew it was a topping process. These, you know, they take a while to happen, but it's coming. You know, we're there now, I do believe. So I don't think we're too much further away. You can clearly see here again on the weekly chart, we are ready to go negative, and I think once it goes negative, it's going down for quite a while. It's got a ways to fall, really truly does. And on the monthly as well, we put in not really a topping tail there, but it's a slight one. But regardless, that doesn't mean that doesn't have to be a perfect topping tail like that one. That one there was a beautiful one right there, and then a collapse after that. But I think this month here is going to collapse down. I really do. I think it's going to collapse and roll over. Take a look at that bad boy right there on the full stochastics. Wow. Look at that. And then look here where this has finally worked its way all the way down. I bet you this thing, this Arun, is probably going to pop up soon. Of course, it follows the market afterwards. It doesn't do it beforehand. So, okay. So, as far as all the other news that's out there, I think the gangsters are going to probably try to start World War III over there in the Middle East somewhere. I don't know where exactly, what country, but you know, it's all centered around Libya and Egypt, and I don't know, but they've got something planned. The elite does, the gangsters. And it's going to probably be World War III. You know, if you go back to the Simpsons clock, and I don't have it here in front of me. Let me pause this, and I'll get that clock for you here. Hold on one second. Okay, for you guys, that was just a second. Didn't take you no time, which is great. There were many ways to read this, and people interpreted this as a sign as to when the market was, or I'm sorry, when the World War III was going to happen and a nuclear bomb was going to go off. If I was to read that, I would say 5 minutes till 6, which a 5 and a 6 could indicate May the 6th. Or it could indicate reverse of that would be June the 5th. It was originally, they thought that this was a 1, and then this round circle was a 0, indicating the year 2010. And then they thought November the 11th. So I don't know what exactly that means, but I still yet to figure it out. It could be simply not any date at all, but just the simple code of 9/11. Just flip the 6 upside down and you've got a 9, and here you got 11. Just basically saying, hey, another 9/11 is happening. Instead of putting it over here to 9, making it very obvious, they make you flip it upside down. And this would be, something obviously only the Illuminati insiders would be able to figure it out. But that would make sense to me. Just simply another 9/11 event is going to happen. That's what they're basically saying, but they're not giving you a time or a date inside this Simpsons clock. So that's just something to think about, but it very well could happen, at any time now. They could blow something up there over this coming weekend, and we could open up Monday morning with the full-blown crash, down hundreds of points. So I'm simply looking for the short term right now, and short term tells me we're going to go up. We're going to pop through this. Odds, I'm going to give it 60-40 on the bulls. I won't say it's no guarantee that we won't roll back down and hit this trend line, but right now, with nothing major going on and people being very bearish right now, lots of people shorting, I don't think they've squeezed enough of them out of them yet. I think they really need to pop it up. So I think tomorrow's the perfect time, because they have already, again, as I said, from this line down to here, they've already popped above that one. So their next resistance is basically 1327 area. And that is from the other larger sloping from here to here to here, 1327 and then 1332. They could gap this thing. Let's make no mistake about it. They could gap it, or with the light volume like they did today, they actually just pushed right on through it. So don't underestimate the bulls. Don't underestimate the manipulation of the market. However, with that said, I think we again are within days of a stock market crash. This thing is going on week 3 or 4 now, whereas the previous top here back on the weekly, so we're on 1, 2, 3, 4. This is week 4. We really should close down Thursday, Friday hard. Here was week 1, 2, 3, and then now it's the 4th week, I'm sorry, the flash crash. So but over here it did take a little bit longer in this area here, obviously, for it tanks. So there's nothing set in stone says it's only going to take 3 weeks. But just looking at the weekly chart again, this thing is ready to just collapse. So hang in there. Don't panic if we do get a double top. Don't panic. Even if it pierces through just a hair, that's what it's supposed to do. Pierce through to grab all the overhead stops and then reverse hard and tank. Look for that 135.14 SPY, and look for that the 1349 area as well. Look for that as well for the SPX. Okay, gang, that's it. Thanks for listening, and good luck, everyone.